Hello, I'm Ami, and this is week 4 Respawn Recruits. And I want to give a massive thank you to Respawn for having this whole shindig. It's been an absolute blast. So I really just want to give a big thanks to you guys for that. So, this is about the never ending journey. So, for my journey, we have to go all the way back. We'd have to go all the way back to 2011 because there was a special person in my life back then who inspired a lot of my core values that I have about how I approach things, how I interact with people, and that was my father. God bless his soul. And he always told me, he was like, Miranda, if you want to do this, you want to do something, you take life by you take that goal by the horns, and you run with it. You want to do music, you did music. You want to do choir, you did choir. So whatever you want to do, you do with it. And if any person in your life tells you shouldn't do this, you're gonna look at that man, woman, whoever it is. You're gonna look at him, and you're gonna be like, no, and you're gonna chase those dreams. So my first foray into content began during COVID. See, a lot of my social daily interactions, a lot of time, it was from work. It was from taking the bus, talking with the bus driver, my coworkers, and all that. And when I worked in the food court, the mall where I worked, that was my life. I would go to work, the bus terminal, head home, hang out, chat with the roommates, and that was it. That was all there was to my day. And then we had COVID, which y'all know. A lot of places were closed. There's a lot of masks. And the thing is, well, yes, I had roommates. As it turns out, it wasn't enough for me. I ended up starting to feel very, very isolated. So eventually I had turned to the internet to boot up Twitch, which had been a while at that point since I had been on the site. And I discovered people just, streaming, talking about their days and whatnot. And I was like, oh, this is really, really cool. I want to do this for people because it made me feel really, really happy. It helped me feel connected. And there was a point where I was just like, I want to be that person for others. I didn't touch it for a little bit. A lot of my content actually started where I was just reading on Final Fantasy 14.
My friend!
I am not sorry, Aradon, even after all these years, I am not sorry for almost killing you there. But then, as life would have it, things got back to normal after a while, and then disaster. Turns out, I would be going on a multi-year hiatus until about 2023. Which, to quickly condense what happened in this time frame and not really dwell on it, there was breakups that did not end very well on any front, where then I was, a brief time, I almost ended up homeless, so I ended up moving from Virginia over to Ohio, staying with my sister, get back on my feet, got a new job, security, eventually getting my own place, meeting my awesome, awesome fiance. And from there, when things were finally starting to settle down, it was decided I was going to do content again. And the thing is, I had gotten out of a very not so great situation with one of my exes a bit beforehand. So it was still very, very much in my mind. And so we had just talked about it, and she's like, well, if you really want to do this, you should do it. And I heard the words of my late father echoing through. So we started something small. We did some little like community games. We played marbles. And eventually, as I was getting just more comfortable being with the camera and everything, I started branching out. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go start doing my raid streams again with friends. And we did that. And we gradually just we rolled into it all. And the thing is, even all these years later, I have only ever had one goal for my content. It wasn't about. It's never about becoming the next idol or the next biggest thing. All I ever wanted to do. I just, I wanted to be there for people. I wanted to be someone's light in the dark. That they were just having a really shitty day, that they could come on in into the stream, chill out, have a good time, forget the outside world for a little while, and just not be feel as bad. Because the thing is, that's what my Oshi Iron Mouse did for me when I stumbled upon her streams. She became my light in the dark for a while. And I want to be able to fit things to my content where I can just make people feel welcome, where they don't have to worry about the ugliness of the outside world. Because the thing is, it's a very dark place out there. It really is. But the other thing I love doing with my content is that helping people. Last year, we had decided to go into doing charity work towards the end of the year. And during initially during the charity stream for Hurricane Helene and all that, for direct relief we were doing, we had initially we had planned on just doing because it was around the time of my anniversary on Twitch of affiliateship. We had initially to spend like we're gonna go have a little. I can't remember now if it was a donathon or subathon. I can't even remember. But we were like, you know what? We just we threw the celebrating myself, the community. Just we threw all that out the window, and we were gonna help people, and we did. It wasn't a lot, but I know between the two charity streams we did, it was about a little over $300. But when it comes to charity, that's $300 they didn't have, and it honestly it turns out it's one of my favorite things to do is charity work. But just it's been a very it's been a very emotional journey. Because the thing is also when I was coming back from to making content, there was a brief while that I had almost given up because it turned out that I suffer from schizophrenia, which, as you don't know, can be some very, very nasty things regarding not perceiving reality correctly, or hallucinations, voices. You could really go into the whole thing, just look it up. But it wasn't a great time. Which, for a while, things were gone for a while. And then, after a bit of time, working through things, we were back. And then, around end of July, early August, was a very, very strong turning point on my journey. It was called the Merc Movie. And his name is JT Dunn, he had a speech in there. And it absolutely resonated with me. And it had lit a fire in me I didn't even know was there. So, again, we took life by the horns. We took the goal. We launched YouTube. And ever since, we've been rolling. I think my goal will always be to make people's days. Just be a little shiny corner of the internet for people if I can help it. That's okay. Because that's my whole thing. It's already happened. Like I had a very, very simple goal for content creation, which was basically, if I can just make one person's day, I consider it a win.